Welcome students to this new class, and in the last class we were discussing about a generalized correlation for gases, and we had come up to Pitzer correlation, and the equation was this that we had learned. Now what was done then after this development of this equation? A lot of experimental data was generated, and these data were plotted in the form of graph and tables, and both the types of these data are available in graphs and tables, but in your book in 7th edition you will find that table has been given, and these table are actually, the name is Lee and Kessler data. This is the name of these tables. So I will show you these tables. So this is the Lee-Kessler generalized correlation tables, and in this edition it is given in appendix D, but in your 7th edition you will find this table in appendix E. So that doesn't matter, you will find it in appendix E, and these tables give you these many data, but we are interested in correlation for the compressibility factor. So this is from table D1 to D4. If you will go there, you will find this data actually. So this is the data. First they are giving the value of Z naught, and in terms of reduced pressure on this row, and here you have reduced temperature. So this way it goes, and then after then you come to the value of Z1, and here also PR and TR. And also it is at higher pressure and higher temperature. This data has been given this way, so you can easily understand what it means. We will apply it to the numerical, and now I will demonstrate how to find this data. So we will see how to use these tables using Lee-Kessler table to get Z0 and Z1. Here I have given you one example that you have been given this data, reduced temperature into reduced pressure, and you have to find Z0 and Z1. So first we will go to the table, so solution. So this is the table, and our pressure TR was 1.20, and the pressure was, reduced pressure was 0.659. So you can see that the reduced pressure is coming here. So our pressure is falling between these two values, 0.6 to 0.8, between this, and our TR is 1.2. So this is our TR. We will go in this line. This line will be there, and in that line we will go in between this. So the problem is this, that the values are not given for every values that we will have. Fortunately we have got our TR here exactly 1.20, but we will have to get the values between these two. So we will have to interpolate this data. So for this we can note down these two values, and then we will interpolate this data. This is the value I have taken from table, and it is at 0.6 this much, and 0.8 this much, and this was our TR. So TR is matching, but our PR is falling in between this. It is not actually 0.7. If it was 0.7, then we would take its average, but here we will have to correlate it. So I would interpolate it. So the concept of interpolation, I think that you must be knowing, but I will just revise that. Interpolation. Interpolation is used when data is unknown in between two known data, and here we assume that it is actually linear function of data, or you can say that y is a linear function of data, like this mx plus c. A line is like this. So first, so this is in our graph form. These are the known values, and this value is the unknown value, and what are the known value? x1 and x2. At these values, the value of y1 and y2 is known. So I will show you it in the graph. So suppose these are the known values. This is x1, this is x2, and at these values the value of y and y2 is here, and we have to know the value of suppose at this point at x, what is the value of y, we have to know. So at this value you have to find what is the value of here y. What is this value? It is unknown. So you can compare it this way here. So it is your this, suppose these are your x1, this is your x1, this is your x2, and this is your y1, this is your y2, and this is your x, this value in between, x is equal to 0.659, and you have to find here the value of z or y in between this. So you can say that in our case this is z, and here it is PR, this is PR. So now what you will do, that you will take these two things and equate the slope. Slope will be equal, so this you will do this way. You can take these triangles. For one triangle you can take A, B, C, and another triangle, bigger triangle, you can take A, D, E. In these triangles you can compare the heights and bases, or you can say that slopes also, slope of this line you can compare, and it is equal because it is the same line. So I am comparing those slopes. So you can see here that I have taken this distance, and this distance. I have taken this, and after then this whole distance. So we have got this equation, and in this equation only this function, this value is unknown, so we will write this equation this way. So this is just mathematical expansion and nothing else. You can easily do this yourself. So you got this. This is the final equation, that is the correlation. Now what you will put the values from here, you will put the values in it. From here you will put the values. So this way you will put the values. X1 is 0.6, as you can see here, this, and x2 is 0.8, and then y2 is this, the z value, this, y1 is this value, and x, this x is this value actually, at which you have to find the value, and this is your final z, y. So when you will calculate this, you will find z is equal to, actually that is z naught we are finding. So that z naught you will get this. So you can see how this value has come in between this. Now our task is to find z1. So z naught we have found. For z1 again we will go to the table, and this is the table for, actually this is the table for z naught, and next table is for z1. This is the table for z naught, and the same procedure here also we will do, that between these two values, this of PR and 1.20 is the TR value. So these two values we will note down, these two values we will note down, and then we will put the interpolation equation, then we will find the values in between these. So here you can see that I have noted down the data, Z1 data from the table, and in between you have to find the value, same procedure that we did there. So here also at PR is equal to 0.659, we have to find the Z1 value. Same thing we will do here also. We will apply this equation, and finally when you will calculate, you can do it yourself and do it yourself. You will get the value 0.376. So you can see that this value is coming in between this. So this way this question is solved, and you have learned how to use the table to find Z0 and Z1. Now we will come to the actual numerical. This is the example I have taken from your 7th edition book, Smith, page number 104. And what they are saying here, that you have been given normal butane gas at 510 Kelvin and 25 bar. What you have to do is find the volume of 1 mole of gas using ideal gas law, PV is equal to RT, and the generalized compressibility factor correlation, that is the correlation that we just learnt. This correlation we have to use, and they have been given the data. R value has been given, and the experimented value, the real value of this volume has been given this. So after then you have to compare this. So we will do it. First we will define the problem. What is the problem? Actually normal butane gas you have been given. This butane gas, as you already know, this is C4H10, and molecular weight is 58, I think 58 is the molecular weight of this gas. And this gas is actually used in LPG with propane gas, and this is a gas that can be liquefied very easily, and then at the room temperature it can be vaporized very easily to be used as gas. So it is used in LPG. Actually is butane and propane. And here what they are doing, that they are putting this 58 grams of gas, that is the 1 mole of gas, in a cylinder at pressure P is equal to 25 bar, and temperature is quite high. It is 510 Kelvin, that is T is equal to 510 Kelvin. And if you will convert it to degree centigrade, you will find that it is 237 degrees centigrade. So maybe in some industrial reactor this kind of things are made. So you have to calculate the volume of this cylinder. What volume of the cylinder you will need? You have to manufacture this kind of reactor or this cylinder. So that is your problem. So first we will solve it with the help of ideal gas law. And you already know that for 1 mole you will write the things this way and put all these values, and when you will calculate it, you will find that it is giving you this volume. And now you can compare it. How much is this? This is the volume 1400 about. It is the real volume. So you can see the compare it, that how incorrect value it is giving. Now we will use that correlation formula. The correlation we will use, and the formula you already know. Now we will go to the table and find these values, and before going to the table we need data for normal butane. What is this? Critical data we need, that is very important, and eccentric factor. So we are going to that table. This is the table, characteristic properties of pure species, table B1680 page, and here you will find the normal butane. This is normal butane gas, and you can see here that its eccentric factor is 0.2, critical temperature is 425.1, and critical pressure is this. So we will note this data. So this is the data I have noted down from that table. There is no problem in that. Next is to find the critical, next step is to find the critical temperature and pressure. Critical temperature will be T over Tc, and reduced pressure, reduced temperature and reduced pressure. This is actually C, reduced temperature, reduced pressure. So formula is this, put all the values in this. What are the values? Temperature of the gas is 510, as you can see here, this is 510, pressure is 25 bar. So here all these values will be put, and here critical properties you put here 425.1, and here you put the critical pressure, and when you will calculate it you will find this comes to 1.2 and this comes to 0.659. Now with this data, that is again I am writing it, and with the help of this data we will go to the Lee-Kassler table, and from there you will get Z0 and Z1. So we are going to that table. So this is the table for Z0, and here we will have to come to 1.2 is the reduced temperature, and here you have to go, because the exact value this is 0.6, this is 0.8, so we will have to interpolate it, and then we will get the value. And the same way you can do for Z1, and here also we will have to reduced temperature will be 1.20, and these two values will be taken, that are the 0.6 and 0.8, and in between we have to find the value. So I have noted down this data from table, and what you have to do that at these conditions you have to find the data, and our reduced temperature is matching, so we don't need to interpolate for that. We will interpolate only for these values. So by interpolation you can do it yourself. I am not doing it here because I have explained you in previous example how to do that. By interpolation, at PR is equal to how much is 6 is 0.659, you will get Z0 equal to, it will be 0.865, and here if you will interpolate you will find this value. So this value is here somewhere here in this, between this. So okay, now you apply the formula, Pitzer formula, Z is equal to Z0. All the values in here you know, so you don't need to be confused. I am just writing this. 0.2 is the omega, that is the eccentric factor, and this is 38. So how much is the compressibility factor here? It is 0.873. So you can see that how much it is deviating from the ideal behavior. For ideal behavior Z is equal to 1. Now you will apply the formula PV is equal to ZRT, and volume, to find the volume is your aim, P, and put all the values I have put, and when you will calculate it you will find it to be centimeter cube, and it is for 1 mole, so I am writing this also. So this is your volume that you have calculated with the help of generalized correlation for compressibility factor. Now you can compare it with the reported value, that is the actual value that you have measured, and it is 1480.7, and your calculated value is also just equal to that. So you can appreciate the use of these correlations and how easy are these when in comparison to other methods to find the volume, and you can also appreciate the point that ideal gas law completely fails at this high pressure, and it is giving you very incorrect values. So this way this lecture ends, and we have completed many important things. So thank you very much for attending the lecture, and next part we will start soon. Our next module we will start